Alright, I got my CC01 here with the Clod Buster body on it. And I'm going to go over everything in detail. The body, the build, the LEDs, all the aftermarket metal, how I got to everything. I'm really happy how this kit turned out. And if you've seen a few of my other videos, there's just a few in there. I really do like the Tamiya stuff. Not the latest and greatest, but you know, being a kid of the 80s, it's just got a spot for things built by Tamiya. This started off as a Landfreeder. I never actually built the Landfreeder body. I bought the kit for $160 and then eBayed the body, chrome, and wheels for 30 bucks. So I started off with a $130 kit. I just wanted to get a basic platform for a build. And I started off with a Subaru body on it. And then I saw someone online do a hard body Clod on a CC01, and I really liked how that turned out. I'm not a real big fan of hard bodies. I just love the look of a polycarbonate body, and I think they're really easy to paint. So I bought this PARMA direct replacement for the hard Clod Buster body. PARMA makes a pretty good body. I think this turned out really nice. So I'll talk about the paint first, what I did to paint the kit. Now, I haven't invested in airbrush yet, so I'm still using rattle can. But you know, if you take your time, spray paint turns out pretty good. So for the main body, I went with the Tamiya PS23, this gunmetal. You can't really see it in the video, but it's just a nice dark, heavy metallic paint. Not too bad. For the front marker lights, I went with just Tamiya PS7 orange. For the rear tail lights, it's Tamiya PS2 red. Now the one thing for the rear bumper and the front grille, I wanted to get as good as I could get the chrome, and I did some reading online to see how to get just a really good chrome look out of polycarbonate. And what I went with was this Tamiya PS48 semi-gloss silver anodized aluminum. Now this paint goes on like water thin. It's almost transparent. So what you end up having to do is about 10 thin coats to get this silver look. And then behind that base, or behind the main coats, you put a base of black behind it. So once you put the black behind those coats of silver, man, it looks really good. It's not quite chrome, but it's definitely a good silver, nice shiny silver for the chrome features on the truck. I like how it turned out, and then of course made it pop with the orange markers. So pretty good. Turned out real nice. Now the roll bar back here. Let's see if we can get a really good look at this thing. Guy on eBay makes these, and you know, I put some links in the comments. I don't remember his eBay username right off the bat, but the guy was great. He makes these for the Clod hard body. Now, if you've ever seen a hard body Clod Buster, these are actually plastic add-on, these pieces right here. So he made a roll bar that came all the way down flush. Of course, the polycarbonate body has these molded in, and so I emailed him and said, hey, could you make me something for the polycarbonate body? And the guy really went out of his way, sent me a couple samples, and made this roll bar. And he's advertising these on eBay, actually using my body. So it turned out really nice. So you know, it's just a piece of flat aluminum bent and cut. And I think it looks really good. So I took it and cleaned it, and then I just put some metal polish on it and shined it up. And I'm really happy with how that turned out. Really nice. A lot better than the chrome-plated plastic stuff. As far as the LEDs go, I got this front bumper on here. This is a, I'm going to mess it up, Energy. I think it's an Energy. And I'm going to do something different with this. It kind of sticks out there. I've seen some other ones with the big push bar. I might swap it out. But this came with LEDs mounted to it. And then what I did with the roll bar right here is this guy makes these LED kits on eBay, and you take a look. It's got like this little circuit board on it, and it's got a button, or you can do it off the remote also, and it cycles through modes. And I'll demonstrate that in a minute. And what I did is I just ran a wire down to a rubber grommet and drilled a hole in the body so the wires can run in there. And so I'll go ahead and turn those LEDs on for you. So when you first fire it on, they go to a pattern, and you turn on the remote. Once the remote comes on, usually the front ones pop on. There we go. So I actually have these on, I have a 4-channel radio in here. I have these on one channel and these on another channel. And I'll show you how those work. But this one here is pretty neat. So it actually operates off the channel, so you can actually change the cycle of the pattern using the remote. And got my Spektrum remote right here, so I'm using the auxiliary channel, and you can cycle through the pattern and ultimately come to a standard glow there. And then the front ones in the front I have on another channel, and you can turn those on and off independently, so I can control both rows of lights. And when I crack the body off, I'll show you how I made all that work. The wheels and tires, these are Tamiya Hummer wheels, these 1.9-inch black wheels. I really like using these. I just basic, easy. And these are 96mm crawler tires, just a knockoff brand. I don't know, I think I bought a set of 4 on eBay for about $20-something. So that's the look of the outside of the truck. Underneath, turn it over for you. So originally the Freelander is a short wheelbase, and to use this body I had to go to the longest wheelbase I could get, which this is a drive shaft. If someone needs to know the part number, comment, but pretty easy to find out. This is the drive shaft that comes with the FJ Cruiser kit, and I believe one other. So I'd spend another $15 or $20 to get the long drive shaft since I didn't have that. And of course I moved everything to the rear positions. All this stuff, the bumper I said is, I think it's Energy, the skid plate here, suspension arms, the turnbuckles here, these are all GPM. The upper arms I think are Active Racing, I'm not quite sure. These here, God, who makes these things? Hold on, I just had it open. These are Gmade. These are Gmade step bars on the side that mount up to the body. The back here I have the GPM 4-link suspension hooked up. I never even installed these stock parts. And the shocks, these shocks back here, they'll be better to see when I get the body off. I originally bought GPM shocks for them. Didn't like them at all. They're real stiff. The Tamiya springs on them were really loose, so I just went ahead and bought the Tamiya alloy dampers that are actually made for this kit by Tamiya for the kit, and I think that actually worked out a lot nicer. I'm going to crack the body off, show you what I did. Alright, for the body, I just made a little quick release right here for the LEDs. Put that out of the way for a second. Alright, like I said, long wheelbase, the way I have everything set up here. These aluminum mounts right here, really should have made a parts list. These might be Active Racing, Racing. I can't remember in particular who made them. I got all this stuff off RC Mart. A mix between RC Mart and a couple other places. So I went with these aluminum body mounts here, and these are PARMA 1.5-inch mounts in the back and PARMA 2-inch universal mounts in the front. For electronics, I'm running a Spektrum 4-channel, SR415 4-channel. I had an SR410, but it wasn't working right with the LEDs. So I just took a gamble and went with the next model 4-channel, and everything worked. So it must have been a bug with the whatever the SR410. Using the included Tamiya TBLE 02S brushless or brushed ESC. I'm running it in brushless mode with the Tamiya TBLE 02S brushless. That's a 15.5 turn. It's a little fast for this kit. You're running about a little slower than a black can Tamiya Sport tuned, somewhere between that and the torque tune motor. I think it's about 18,000 RPMs, so a little fast, and that's just what I have right now. I'm going to do something different with it, and I got a Turnigy LiPo in here right now. I got a Futaba S3305 High Torque servo, and here's where I'll talk about what I did to fix the steering. I have another video, and I've decided to do something different since then. So first off, I went initially with the Gpm Steering Kit, and it sucked. Oh my god, it sucked. The little notch is only like 1 millimeter that fits into the bottom piece, and it's soft metal, and it rounded out really quick. After like one run, even though it was torqued and Loctited, it stripped it out, and the steering, it was pretty much garbage. Don't buy it. So what I went with was the Hot Racing Kit, and the notch that goes in the bottom piece is a few millimeters thick, so it had a lot more support. It seems like the alloy is a little harder on it, so the Hot Racing one is the way to go. Let's see if we can get a look here. On the Hot Racing, let's see if I got enough light. There's a bucket that sinks in there, and there's a bucket that sinks in the bottom. And the buckets fit in okay. They're a little loose. And so what I did was, on the top bucket and the lower bucket, I put just a dab of hot glue inside the tube on the top and bottom, then pressed the buckets in. And basically, just a little bit of glue, and once I torqued the top and bottom down, it pressed those buckets into that hot glue, and it's not going anywhere. It's really tight. And originally I was running a solid arm on here, and I just thought that was putting too much stress on all the components. So this is instead of using the Servo Saver that came with it, I'm using this is a Tamiya SP1000 SP1000 Servo Saver Kit. It's their High Torque Servo Saver Kit, and then on top of it, that came with a plastic arm, and then on top of it I installed this Tamiya OP-1159, and that's the alloy Servo Saver arm. So it's two different pieces between the Servo Saver Kit and the arm. The nice thing about this kit is it comes with several metal bands, and you can stack up the metal bands to make the Servo Saver more stiff. And I have 2 of the lighter bands on here, so it still acts as a Servo Saver, but it functions really well. You gotta turn it all back on. There we go. So really smooth action on that. So this Servo Saver, it's tight enough that it doesn't give with all this action in this whole system. And now that I have the Hot Racing Kit installed, hooked up to the really tough Servo Saver, there's no play. There's really no play in the system. I mean, you're going to get the action of all the bits in there, and you can get the play of the Servo Saver, but you really got to pry on it. But man, really smooth, really works well. This does not have a LiPo battery cutoff, so I installed here on the side, I installed one of these LiPo battery alarms. I have it set at 3.2 volts. It's a nice $8 fix if you're not going to buy a new ESC. And I had a couple of these, and they work well. So I figured, why go buy another ESC right now when I have a motor and ESC laying around? And I had a couple of these anyway, so $8. And basically what you do is you plug the balance line in, and that's what it'll do when it goes below 3.2 volts. So really clean setup. Now, as far as the LEDs go, here in Auxiliary 1, I have this switch, and I can put a link to this too. This was I think it's $12 on eBay, this electronic switch. And basically, when you hook it up to the channel, you put your radio in the 2-position mode, and channel 1, or auxiliary 1 off, auxiliary 1 on, auxiliary 1 off, auxiliary 1 on. So I mounted the 2 front LEDs direct into that switch. So the switch not only turns it on and off, but it's allowing the power of the receiver battery to power the LEDs, or the receiver power. Of course, you're getting 7.4 volts at 1.5 amps. The other LED, what I did was I put an extender on here so I could quick disconnect it. And it's that integrated circuit on the LED that allows you to trigger the LED on and off. Better look at the rear shocks. Like I said, these are the Tamiya rear dampers back here on the 4-link GPM suspension. So I thought those were really good, and then on the front I have the Tamiya dampers as well. I think it turned out really nice. So I put the body back on. So when you throw the body on, make sure your negatives to your negative. Plug that back in. Pop the body back on. Get my body pins back in there. I'm a big fan of these big, bulky Tamiya body pins. Easy to get back in there. All right. So here's a good overview of it. Like I said, I think the long wheelbase with the PARMA body on there turned out nice. Now I have the body raised kind of high. I gotta turn these lights off. I have the body raised kind of high. I could have put shorter body mounts. I think I'm gonna get one of those Sense 1 engine noise kits and put it in there. So I left enough space up so I can make a little custom mount here. It can hang here right behind the windows. Something else to try out. Not that there's not enough wires in here anyway. So another good Tamiya build. Like the way it turned out. I think the Clod Buster body looks good. Kit runs good. I think later on I'm going to go to maybe a 21.5 turn motor and slow her down a little bit. Get something closer to about 12,000 RPMs versus the 18,000. She's a little quick for what it is, but I think I like building them more than running them. So this was more for the fun of the build. So anybody got any questions, hit me up in the comments, and I'll put some links up to all the various parts and where I got them from, and especially if anybody's interested in grabbing one of these custom roll bars from this guy. He did a really good job. Anyway, thanks again for watching.